Well, the interesting thing about this plane is I bought it for $2.3 million. This plane today would be about $4.5 million.
Got your girl calling me baby. Wetter than still in the Navy. Ooh, bitch, I'm Mercedes. 100K on the daily. So but I make it rainy. I don't hang out with the broke and the lazy. All that fake love I see in our baby. I level up.
Boys and girls, men and women, welcome to Miami. We out here. Right now, we're actually gonna meet a gentleman by the name of Eric.
Small, y'all better luck with an 8-ball like a fresh cut, y'all fade.
He was an ex-addict, heavily addicted to drugs, sold his company for 9 figures, 115 million. It just shows to tell you, you could be at the very, very bottom, addicted to drugs, homeless, nothing going for you, and you could turn your life around. So not only are we gonna pick his brain, we're gonna find out how he did it. Not only does he have a jet, a yacht, he has a fat crib. So we're doing a tour of all that and picking his brain. You know what this channel is about, guys. I want everyone to be successful. I want you guys to reach the best version of yourself. That's why I have this private community that I created with like-minded individuals, entrepreneurs. We got multi-millionaires in there. We have live calls every week with successful people. So if you're looking to get out the 9 to 5, for example, or you want to collaborate with another successful individual, or just find your next career opportunity, this community is just for you. Click that link in the description below. Join today, change your life, level up. Remember, your network is your net worth. Let's get the video started.
She said, listen, just be careful, follow.
My man.
Yo, what's good, bro?
I had several, had potential, being here is
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure, my man. Pleasure.
I love
Absolutely.
the chain.
Thank you.
How much that chain go for?
It's on the side of the plane,
Is
too.
it really?
Yeah, they say a lot of things, man, but when you got the logo on the chain on the side of the jet, they say you can't fake a jet.
Crazy, bro. How
That's
much
it.
that chain cost?
The diamonds, about 100K, and this I had made for, I think it was about 40.
And then you got the, is that the Richard?
The Richie.
How much does this go for?
I bought that for 380.
380? Jeez. Now, people are seeing you for the very first time.
Yeah, man,
right?
pleasure.
You got a jet behind us. You own this jet?
I own this jet, yeah.
Obviously, Eric makes a lot of money, right? Tell him a little bit about yourself. Like, what's your story?
I grew up just north of Boston and got roped up in the opiate and addiction epidemic, lived a life of crime, street violence, just a crazy, crazy story. I got sober and into recovery back in 2006.
Oh, wow.
So 16 and a half years ago, on the run for an armed robbery.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a situation, a drug deal that turned ugly. Got in a lot of trouble for that. Got sober, totally transformed my life.
Yeah.
Complete, you know,
Yeah.
The old version of me had to die, created a new version, and in this new life, I have been entrepreneurial, building businesses. I built the Northeast's largest provider of addiction treatment services.
Oh,
so
really?
I took my pain and turned it into a purpose, built a business out of it. You know, that business was doing about $55 million a year top line revenue, and I eventually sold it for $115 million, and that was a couple years ago.
Hey, look, guys, that's crazy.
Sir.
Because from Eric turning his life around from being, you know, addicted and then doing all this, owning the jet, we're gonna go look at his house too. So
I'll show you my jet, show you my house. Unfortunately, the yacht is out of the water. It's in the
we
shop.
wanted to see the yacht.
We'll have to do round 2 on the yacht.
You treat me so good, so I gotta partake. Take you to dinner, you offer to pay.
All right,
Let's take a look at this jet right here. Ooh. Oh wow. Yeah. Here we go. Damn, man.
Yeah,
Miami weather.
This Miami weather, it's, you know, July now, right?
I'm sweating,
almost
man.
July, and it gets hot in the summertime. I love it. I've been here 3 years now, and you really kind of acclimate to the heat.
What kind of jet are we in? How much does this cost?
Yeah,
How long have you had it for?
I'll tell you a little bit about the jet. I've owned this jet for probably 2.5 years now.
Okay.
It's a Hawker 850 XP. It's configured with 6 executive seatings. What's unique about this jet is most of these planes actually have a bench that's right here that gives you seating for 8. It's just a little less comfortable.
Okay.
I very rarely ever have the need for those extra seats, so it's worked out well. The interesting thing about this plane is I bought it for $2.3 million about 2.5 years ago now.
Okay.
The aviation market has blown up, and so this plane today, if I was to sell it, would be about $4.5 million.
Wow.
And so it's
a great
just
return, huh?
It's just about doubled in value.
Wow.
And so safe there. The thing about jets is 2 things. One, the operating expenses have also skyrocketed. Fuel, the cost of pilots, just like everything else these last couple of years with inflation. The one thing that people need to understand is aviation and owning a jet is one of the very few opportunities in life that you have to buy time back.
Yeah.
And so that's really what this is about. It's freedom. It makes the country feel small, and it buys my time back.
Maximize your time.
I can be, I own businesses in Ohio, Texas, all these states. I can be up in the morning, out to the business, spend all day at the business, and be home for dinner.
It's important that you say that, because a lot of people just look at it from the outside and like, oh, he's just buying a jet just to flex. But you're maximizing your time. Like us, like me and Zeke, we went to LAX. That took 2 hours just to get on the plane.
12:22, yeah, I'm outside.
All right, guys, we're at the crib of Mr. Eric. Bro, this is crazy. What do we like? How much does this house cost? What's the square feet?
It's like almost 8,000 square feet, I think, 7,000 something. And I bought it maybe a year and a half ago for $20.75 million.
Bruh.
The crazy thing is, it's up from there.
Yeah.
People are like, that's crazy, you bought a $20 million house. I'm like, I had a $24 million offer on it not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah, weeks ago.
Wow.
And so Miami real estate, Miami's the city, and everything's just been going up around here because it's the spot for sure.
Look, we didn't really get to talk about the Rolls Royce. What's going on here? How much is this car?
This car is a 2021 black badge Rolls Royce Cullinan. Got the creative bespoke body kit on it, rims.
Hell yeah.
It is one bad truck. It gets
fire.
all the respect at the valet.
Hell yeah.
This truck runs about somewhere between $550,000 and $600,000.
You could buy 3 Lambo Huracans for that price.
Cold heart, pretty face, love to chase, big mistake, no give or take, they on.
Let's go, man. This is crazy.
Yes, sir. Come on in.
Wow, it's a crazy door, bro.
So this is my home. We are in a location in Miami called the Venetian Islands.
Holy.
Which that in its own it's like the best spot. You know what I mean? If you're going to be in Miami, this neighborhood is where you want to be at. Our neighbors are, a lot of celebs in the neighborhood, a lot of very well-known entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel, partner of PayPal, lives around the corner over there.
Okay.
Stan from Stanley Steamers, just all sorts of folks. This is the main entrance, man. This is where we come in, At this guy, look at this one.
Who's this?
That's Smalls, come here. So he's not even 3 months old yet.
Smalls?
His name's Smalls, yeah.
That's what's up.
It's a good boy.
Yeah.
Got the dining room area, don't eat there very often. Most of the meals we eat just at the little breakfast nook over there.
Okay. Kitchen.
Got the living room area. Of course, one of the highlights of this house is the view.
Ooh.
We are on the bay side of the Venetian Islands.
Wow.
And so, you see the Miami, that's the Brickell skyline. It's beautiful. I love it. It's really cool because this right here as well is where all the you can see one of them, it's where all the cruise ships come in and out.
Yeah,
and so you're constantly watching them come in and parallel park around each other. And, on the weekend out here, it's boats, it's jet skis, it's people having a good time. It's, it's lit. It's a little hot. Woo! Yeah. So, this is a great entertaining area. We got the music speakers, and the whole house is on the smart home system, Savant system. Get the grill going. Like to cook out here a lot, steaks, chicken.
In this weather?
And,
or like when it cools down?
Bro.
For real? Are you out here in the heat? Like,
listen, I'm from here now, brother.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm from New Hampshire, just north of Boston, like I told you. But I've been here almost 3 years. I spend the majority of my time, and you acclimate to it. Yeah, it's a little deck area. Ooh. Come out here, chill, lay out.
Damn.
I film a lot of content out here. You know what I mean? I'm constantly, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always pacing right here, talking my talk. This right here, and so just to let the audience know, this home, before I bought it, was a short-term rental place that was mostly for celebrities.
Okay.
And so I have a picture, stand right over there, kinda.
Okay.
I got a picture of Conor McGregor holding a 5-6 foot shark.
No way.
I'll share that with you, pop it up. And then if you look over there, you see that purple thing?
Yeah,
the audience, if they want to pull it up. Yeah, the little baby On Me video was shot at this house.
Oh, no way.
And so there's actually a scene in this, in the On Me video where he's sitting next to that stupid purple thing.
Basically what you're telling me
is the spot.
This is the spot where celebrities...
This is the spot for, one, the house is dope. Two, the location on the Venetian Islands is central to everything. Show you the rest of the house.
Get it, bro. Look, damn,
Let's
I
get
am
it.
sweating, bro.
These Cali boys aren't used to that Miami heat, you know?
Why do I feel like I'm sweating more than Eric right now? Am I?
You probably are. So let's check the rest of the spot out.
So you got a little bar section over there, or what's going on here?
Got a little bar section. We keep the salsa waters and the Red Bulls over there. I don't drink any alcohol. Been sober 16 and a half years, but yeah, there's a little bar spot.
No, hey, we can't let that slide. 16 and a half years sober.
December 7th, 2006. Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
And so, yeah, we don't keep any alcohol around here. We got this movie theater.
Woo! This is comfy right here.
Yeah, this is actually, there's a scene, like I was telling you, of the Little Baby on Me video. He's right on this couch.
On this
same
actual
couch.
right
Same
here.
couch. Yeah, he's sitting right here, and there's just a platoon of chicks. Just, you know, do whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Put them in the video. Little bar section. Yeah.
Wow, look at this.
And so these were all little gifts people have gotten me. You know, it's my boy J.O. You can see his symbol right there, J.O. Did this for me. He came and surprised me and gifted it to me during Art Basel this year. He sells his paintings for, I think, around 15, 20, 25,000.
Wow.
Sean Whalen from Lions Not Sheep out in Utah. He has a big event every year called Lions Den Live, and he gifted me a whole bunch of stuff, very thoughtful things. This was one of them. Little bobblehead of me with the Christian Dior hoodie on, with the Mary jeans.
That's fire.
Detail.
Type of vibe that I'm on. Gang 7, but I'm home. I rock a rollie, so you know the time that I'm on.
We got some cool stuff to show you though.
Let's get it.
Percent.
Look at this. This is sick.
Yeah, it's a good shot, right?
Oh yeah. You got a balcony here too.
Yeah, I got a balcony in the front of the master. I got a balcony there. I'll show you my health room.
Okay. Don't get lost, Zeke.
Yeah, so this is called the Superhuman Protocol.
Okay.
And so, you know, there's been a lot of study on this, a lot of science, but essentially it's based off of the thesis that a lack of oxygen is a main contributor to disease. And so this machine right here, I'll show you.
Yeah, okay. This 10X health system right here?
Okay. I bought this setup from 10X Health.
Okay.
This machine fills this all the way up. This bag will fill up with 96% pure oxygen.
Okay.
I got the right there.
Yeah.
You hook this face mask up, like that. I gotta take the whole thing off and do it, but I'm gonna do it right now.
Right.
You wear this face mask, and I'll get on this assault bike for like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I'll take down that whole bag full of oxygen. And that, there's a lot of, for anyone really interested in preventative medicine, you know, fighting aging, etc., this is the jam, right? And then this is a red light bed, which has a ton of benefits. It's good for collagen, it's good for your skin.
I mean, how old are you?
38.
38? Yeah. You're young, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're young.
A lot of miles, but I mean, look at this shot. How pretty is that?
Yeah, this is
First of all, look
sick.
at this. Look at this shot.
I would love to see this every morning. Just
oh hell yeah,
just come
bro.
over here. I'll just be on my phone.
I walk out of my bedroom, come down here, do some shit, come back up here, go up. My office is on the roof. I'll show you that in a minute. Oh look, there.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Oh yeah.
So look. I want to show you though. But you were talking about.
Yeah.
You're gonna look through there, right?
Okay.
Look, there's my gate. Show him the gate. Show him the gate. Yo, homeboy Wes Watson that just did your show
bro,
too.
he lives right there.
He just got that spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, dude, the network is off the chart. I'm gonna take the dog for a little walk, stop by, say what's up to the homie Wes.
Yeah, because that's your best friend, right?
That's my homie, bro.
Yeah, so
that's my dog. Yeah. Now we're gonna take the elevator for real. We on the second floor. We're gonna go up to the third floor. We could walk, but
wait, you have a third floor? I didn't even know that.
it's at the rooftop.
Oh, okay.
The rooftop. Oh, there we go. It's working. It's working. I know we end up here calling the fire department. Come get our. We were just messing around on YouTube, man. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom.
Nice. Woo. This is nice.
So
this is sick. This is nice.
So I'm reconstructing this whole area, so you'll have to come back when it's finished, but we're close. You know, the pool was a little run down, and so we started a new project up here on the roof.
Where's
so
the pool at?
right there.
Oh, okay.
But
there's a pool on your roof?
there's no water in it right now. There's no water in it. Wow. And so this is a serious story. They just finished this today. And so they took up and they ripped up everything.
Oh, damn.
And then just now, this morning, what they did was see all this pebble.
I see that, yeah.
They sprayed that in there today. They're going to let it sit and dry, and then Monday they're going to come back and fill this up with water. But it's beautiful, bro. It was. I've been without it for like a month and a half. Yeah. And so you're just over here, bro, hanging out on the acrylic.
Bro, I would be here every day.
The boats are going by. You know what? My office is right here. So I just pop out, go for a swim, get the sun in. You have to think big.
Yes.
16 and a half years ago, I was 135 pounds. I had tried to be a drug dealer and a criminal and lived this crazy, crazy life and was destined to die or be in prison.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that along the way, I had to be able to expand my mind before I was able to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you gotta think big, you gotta dream big, and along with thinking big and dreaming big, you gotta execute big.
Yeah,
it's about work ethic and output.
Absolutely.
And you combine those things with the proper standards and the proper discipline, and you can achieve absolutely anything in life. And so it's symbolic for me. I come up here and I spend time looking at this beautiful city, probably one of the best cities on planet Earth, with one of the best views in the best cities in planet Earth.
I'm loving it.
And I'm like, God damn, man, you know what I mean? I remember just being desperate and broke and homeless and
must
at
be
the
a great
bottom.
Feeling. Yeah.
It's
liberating, right? What do you say?
It's liberating, but it's being a conduit of these things for others. So I got the pool water coming on Monday, and I got they got to bring a crane in and lift this thing out of here. Sheesh. And I got a brand new hot tub coming.
The office, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Hey. Oh yeah, I love that AC.
Yeah. Cool it off a little bit, right? I run a lot of meetings here. I work from home a lot. I got the conference table. I'm constantly on the whiteboard in my inner circle program. Okay. So that's, as I told you, I coach and mentor entrepreneurs. Yeah. I have an option for them where they can retain me on a bigger scale, and we get together quarterly. So every 3 months. Yeah. And deep dive on their business. And so this was from a strategy session yesterday with one of my guys that we were just going through stem to stern, real estate business brokerage that he had. And we were breaking down all the different offices and lead generation and the call center and the flow and the scripting and,
That's it. Thank you for the jet tour, the crib tour.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy seeing how somebody lives in Miami. I know you sold a company for 9 figures, 115 million 150 to be exact. So before we touch on that, let's kind of backtrack, because you said you were 16 years sober. How'd you get into that addiction? How did that start? Where were you at that time of your life? Because you're 38 years old right now.
38 right
now.
So
how far back
I started, I got in trouble for the first time. I was drinking and smoking marijuana, smoking weed, and actually selling weed at 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
Which is remarkable.
Jeez.
It's I look at, now being older, an adult, and looking at, how young that really is, even though I felt grown at the time. That's really where it all started for me. And so it went from smoking weed, drinking alcohol, to using club drugs, lots of ecstasy, ketamine, cocaine. And then Oxycontin was really making a strong push at the time, which OCs.
Is this 10 years old? Or you're saying
No. This is progressed, started at 10,
Okay.
And then when I was about 14, 15 years old, I tried Oxycontin, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's a painkiller. It's an opiate drug class, and it's essentially pharmaceutical grade heroin in a pill.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I started with that at 14 years old, and very quickly became addicted. And that for me progressed into heroin addiction. Wow. When I was about 15 years old, same time I dropped out of high school, I was selling drugs. I was living life on the street, surrounded by crimes, drugs, violence, and
what
I
city
lived that
were you
life.
in?
I was in southern New Hampshire, northern Massachusetts, that area. I was just about 40 minutes north of Boston.
Okay.
And in the suburbs, north of Boston. And so, from 15 years old till I was almost 22, about
Wow.
7 years, almost 7 years, I was addicted to drugs, just living a terrible life filled with pain, trauma, violence, desperation, pathetic, and it's addiction is a progressive condition, a progressive illness, and so over the course of that 7 years, things just consistently got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse for me. And whereas I thought I was the man for a long time, selling drugs, top of the game, being cool, hanging out with the cool kids, and that stuck for a while, but towards the end of it, like it ends for everyone, it ended ugly. And people started dying, people started going to prison. And, I hit a moment of clarity. I hit my rock bottom, if you will, on December 7th of 2006.
Remember the date, yeah.
I woke up that morning and I was in a lot of legal trouble. I was in a lot of trouble in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I really believed if I didn't change my life that day, I still believe this is true, that I would have been dead or in prison for a very long time. And I haven't had a mind-altering substance since. I haven't had a drink of alcohol, a hit of weed, a pill, a nothing.
Wow.
And so December 7th of this year will be 17 years of consistent sobriety.
That's beautiful.
And I say, you follow my content on Instagram, even a little bit on YouTube, I say that sobriety is a superpower. The basis of everything that you see, everything I just showed you, if I didn't get sober, none of this happens. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't cool at the time. I got sober at, 21, almost 22 years old. I had only been able to legally take a drink for 10 months by the time I had to give up alcohol for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so, recovery, sobriety wasn't hip back then. It wasn't trendy. It wasn't cool, but it was really making those decisions to walk an uncommon path.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
All my friends in my 20s were all smoking weed, drinking alcohol, partying, going to clubs, enjoying life, doing all these things. And they thought that I was sacrificing. They thought that I was going without.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I look back and I'm like, based on results, I don't think I went without anything.
You said at 22 years old, something just clicked because you were just in a lot of trouble, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like there's no influence behind that in terms of somebody trying to help you out. It was just something clicking in your head, like, hey, I got to stop.
It's more complicated than that. I tried 5 years before that, almost 5 years before that.
Yeah.
I had hit a lot of pain because of addiction, and I had reached out and asked for help. I actually went to my dad.
You actually
and it was like,
out.
I told my dad, I got honest with my dad. I said, Dad, I'm addicted to drugs and I need help. And so for 5 years, I was constantly in this perpetual state of trying to change my life and failing.
Mm-hmm. Were you going to rehab? Or?
I would go into rehab. I was doing all sorts of different things to try and change my life.
Yeah.
And so those seeds had been planted for me. And so on that morning, I just had enough.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a strong moment of mental clarity.
Are you a believer of God or a higher power?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So do you think that had something to do with that moment where you're like, hey, enough is
I
enough?
believe that I was divinely separated from heroin and other drugs on that day.
Damn. Wow.
I fully believe that. I think God has a plan. I think God gives each and every one of us a purpose. I think that that our pain is given to us for a reason. I think that we get to experience it. I look back at addiction for me, which was the primal, main problem, which caused a lot of other problems of emotional pain and all this stuff, all this crap that I went through. And I don't regret a single piece of it.
Yeah.
Because God brought me through that, and God brought me through the other side of it. And every piece of that pain, I was able to turn into the purpose.
Yeah.
But where a lot of people, I think, get offbeat with this and don't understand is you have to surrender at a certain point and see things for how they are and see things for as God would have you be.
Yeah.
And, I, with conviction, believe that God brought me through addiction and pain, and all with the plan to use me as a conduit to help other people like me.
Do you think if you
Without
never
a doubt.
went through that addiction and whatnot, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now? Do
No.
you think that has something to do with
If I
everything? It was all
didn't, here's the
planned?
crazy thing. If I hadn't have been been an addict and got addicted to drugs and gone through everything I went through, I would be working a construction job in New Hampshire.
Yeah, wow.
That's a fact.
So
my
it
father
was
cut
planned.
down trees for a living.
Yeah.
I would be cutting down trees for a living right now. That's what I was like raised to do.
Yeah, wow.
And addiction took me off course of a generational business.
Yeah.
And I would be making a modest living, living a blue collar life, cutting trees down.
That's just
not
crazy
that there's
to think
anything
about.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah.
But God had bigger plans for me.
Absolutely, yeah. Did you ever, through your addiction, did you ever have, did you overdose or you go
Oh
through
yeah, I
phases
overdosed.
like that?
I overdosed
Where
5
you
times.
almost died, maybe?
I overdosed to the point where I was put on life support on 5 different times.
How old were you at these ages? Do you remember? Young, apparently.
19, 20, 21.
Damn, that's crazy.
And it was my 4th overdose. And this happened all within a 6-month time span. And it was from taking handfuls of Xanax and shooting large quantities of heroin.
Wow.
Because I had become in such, if you use drugs like that, after a certain period of time, they stop working. And I needed to do more to turn
feel
off, to feel it.
Yeah.
But when I say feel it, what I really mean is to treat that unbearable emotional, spiritual, and psychic pain that I dealt with every day.
Yeah.
And so I was riding the brink of death because that's the only place that I could get the pain to stop. And in that, I kept overdosing. I would go over that line, and I'd honestly lost the will to live. And, I used to do so much heroin, I'd have it on the needle, I'd put it in my arm, and the other addicts would be like, yo, that might kill you.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
You still do
I
it?
know.
Yeah.
Wow. It's all good. And so I woke up.
Damn.
And I woke up and they had me on a breathing tube. I don't know how long I'd been out, a while.
Wow.
And I was on a breathing machine and I was like, yo, where's my shirt? And my shirt had been cut up to half and I had these 2 stickies on me from getting paddled
Gosh, yeah.
by that
Damn.
electric paddle machine thing.
You're young.
And I was probably 20 years old at this time.
That's a baby.
And the crazy thing was this moment where, when I look at my journey with addiction, there are these individual moments that stick out to me. And this is one of them where I really start to understand how bad this thing had me. Because my dad is a 300-pound logger. He's as tough as they come.
Yeah.
And I come to, and, because I had ended up in the same hospital so many times, somehow I think someone called them and said, hey, you need to come see your kid. He knew I was there. And so my dad is in the room and he's crying.
Wow.
I've never seen my dad cry.
Yeah.
Never seen him cry, not one time. I watched him cut his leg wide open with a
Didn't even cry.
chainsaw.
Yeah.
He's like, damn. He was pissed he couldn't finish the day's work.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the hospital, get this stitched up. And I see the man and he's looking at me and he's like, please, please. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I don't want to get high.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk out of here and go do this again. I don't want to hurt you people anymore. But I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment, it was one of many moments that I really understood addiction in its purest form, that I was truly using drugs against my own will. Because what happened in that moment was, don't do it, Eric, don't do it. And I'm like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling IVs. They couldn't hit my arms, and so I'm pulling IVs out of my neck and out of my arms, and I'm suiting up. And I literally took a Johnny. That's when I was asking for my shirt, and I stuck it in my pants. I'm bleeding all over myself. My father's crying, and I'm looking at him. I love the man more than life itself. He raised me, he sacrificed everything for me.
Yeah.
Worked hard and just to support, you know? And I'm like, I gotta go.
Wow.
Sorry, Dad, I gotta go.
Where was this pain and hurt stemming from that caused you to want you to have the desire to do drugs and all that? Because you started at a young age.
I think I'll spend a lifetime trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I had a troubled relationship with my mom. She passed a few years ago.
Sorry to hear.
Of pancreatic cancer, but
Sorry.
my parents got divorced. My relationship with my mom was messed up. I had, a messed up living condition, a messed up neighborhood, messed up people, and I had older influences that I thought were very cool kids that I wanted to emulate and be like.
And they're doing.
And this is what they were doing.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I had so much emotional pain, just as a young boy, that when I took that sip of that Mad Dog 2020,
It would numb it.
I'd be like, oh.
Relief.
And I would get that relief. And then I would wake up the next day and I'd be back in it. A lot of these videos, a lot of this content wants to talk about the financial success, the materialism, the plane, the yacht, the house, the jewelry, the whatever.
Yeah.
And what gets lost in that I try to incorporate in my content is the transformational work and process that had to happen for me as a human being to even remotely come to think about achieving all of this. It had to happen internally first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in that process, I was able to heal a lot of the wounds. I was able to make amends with a lot of the people. I was able to challenge a lot of the belief systems that I was so convicted on believing that were false narratives and false operating systems that no longer served me.
Yeah.
And, I was able to do a lot of this transformational work. And candidly, it's been 16 and a half years of that process. And it still is, And it still is. And if anything, if I can dangle, hey, come look at my house. Go on Snooge's video. Come look at my house. Come look at my jet. But do the work that you need to do.
Absolutely.
Face your demons. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be people that watch this video that struggle with addiction, that struggle with mental health, that struggle with food, that struggle with sex and gambling and relationships and toxic trauma and the abuse they went through. And nobody makes it through life without pain.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for your pain. You are responsible for your healing. And so, we all go through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all go through it.
Do you ever casually drink at all? Nothing at all?
I haven't had a sip of alcohol. I haven't had a single thing that would alter your state of being, alter your mind.
16 and a half years.
In 16 and a half years.
Wow.
Not a pill, not a drink, nothing.
After you went sober at was it 22?
20, just for 3 months before my 22nd birthday.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I was 21.
Sober, and what did you do next?
I got into I was homeless. I had 2 pairs of clothes that I used to carry around in a trash bag.
Yeah.
I had no money, no friends, no driver's license, no job. I had all sorts of trouble that I was in, and I detoxed on a couch.
Your dad wasn't around this time?
My dad wouldn't even speak to me at this time. My dad, which was I put the man through so much, he wouldn't even, didn't want to talk to me. I don't blame him. It was the right thing for him to do. And then I started walking to 12-step recovery meetings. And, one thing I know that is true is people wait for the ideal conditions and the ideal circumstances, right?
Yeah.
I'll get on the diet when, I'll make those changes when, you know what I mean? Like, they wait. I was sick from withdrawing from heroin. I didn't have a ride. I didn't have a winter coat. Damn. It was December in New Hampshire.
Wow.
December 7th. It was freezing. I had nothing, right? I lived a couple miles from the closest 12-step meeting. Maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles.
You have to walk that, I'm assuming?
And I walked.
Yeah.
And I walked to AA meetings, and I walked to NA meetings, and I, was freezing, and I was cold, and I would get there, and I would come inside, I'd get a cup of coffee. I was sick. I would literally be like puking on the way there. I was sick for like a month.
Wow.
Kicking drugs. And like, if you want it, you're gonna do it, no matter, under any and all circumstances, no matter what, and nobody's gonna stop you. And if you don't, you're gonna find an excuse. I had so many excuses. One thing that I think gets lost that just recently kind of hit me was like, God, if people really understood the amount of crap, of stuff that I went through, in addiction, in my childhood, getting sober, the challenges, trials, adversity, the tribulations, all of it. I had so many opportunities to give up where people would have been like, I understand.
Yeah.
They would have given me a pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we got it done no matter what.
That's
and
good,
yeah, under any and all circumstances, man, it would be snowing out and I'd be walking.
You got it done.
And I'd be getting there.
And that was the start of you starting that company.
Against any and all, yeah.
Because of that, you're building that discipline.
We're gonna get it done no matter what.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it done no matter what.
You're sober now, and this is still 22 years old at the time.
Yep.
And you start this company.
Yep.
At that age.
Well, I was 23, almost
okay.
24. I was almost a couple years into sobriety.
Okay.
When I started the business, and you know, my dad, at this point, I'd reconciled my relationship with my dad. I'd gone back to work with him. I'd earned some trust. You know, I was working with him with his business. You know, I was a 23-year-old kid with, you know, no credit. And, so I need a little bit of help.
And what was the business again that you started?
It was a sober living house.
Okay.
The first one.
Okay.
And so he helped buy the first property, my first, in October of 2008. And
How much was that?
It's crazy, bro. I was just looking at this. Yeah. That building was a 3-unit apartment building in a town called Derry, New Hampshire, and we bought that for $150,000.
Wow.
I was just looking at the real estate market in that same area, and I was laughing because they are selling mobile homes, trailer parks for $150,000. I was like, geez, man, that's crazy. But yeah, we bought that for $150,000.
Okay.
I lived there for the next 2 years with a revolving door. I had 11 beds, so I had 11 guys that lived in this place with me.
Okay.
I taught them life skills. I taught them how to pray. I taught them how to be in recovery. I taught them how to meditate. I taught them spiritual things. I taught them how to transform their lives, how to show up to life. I would yell at them. I would love them. We did life together.
Wow.
And I look back, and it was one of the best times of my life.
Absolutely.
And I was still getting up and putting work boots on and going and cutting down trees for a living, taking the money from that to help support this because it made no money in the beginning.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
And living with these guys, they'd be banging on my window at midnight, like, the toilet's clogged. God damn,
Yeah, but you're returning the favor. You got sober, and now you're returning it and helping. I mean, how many people did you help?
Over the course of
that period. I mean, now I'm pretty sure there's tons, but
God, tens and tens of thousands.
Wow.
But there's also a ripple effect that touches all shores, and so I might help you with your addiction, but I don't know how I helped change the narrative of the life story of those 2 little kids that you have. I remember I was sponsoring this guy, and he celebrated a year sober, and I probably only had 2 years sober.
Yeah.
And we had these 2 little girls, and their mom wasn't around, and they were like 3 and 5 or 4 and 6.
Yeah.
They're like little girls, and he had nothing, and so he used to take them to the meetings. Everywhere he went, these 2 little girls were with him, and he was a vicious alcoholic, and he got sober, and then he this changed my life, bro.
Yeah.
This changed my life. This changed my life in the perspective of who I'm helping, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm helping you with your alcoholism. These 2 little girls, he got up in front of an AA meeting with about 150 people in it, and presented them with this medallion, his coin for a year of sobriety. And the meeting got over, and you get in a big circle, you hold hands, you say a Lord's Prayer, and then everyone's kind of talking and dispersing. And these 2 little girls came up. She grabbed me like this. And she said, "Miss Eric, thank you for getting my daddy back."
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, this is about more than I realized.
So I'm assuming when you help tens of thousands of people, and you turned this company, and you said you sold this company.
Yeah.
This is that one that was 115 million.
Yep.
Wow. Do you miss it? Why did you choose to sell it?
I woke up every day at that business for as long as I had it, and
how many years was that?
13 years, 2 months.
13 years, 2 months.
From the day I started till the day I sold it. Mm-hmm. And for about 12 of those years, I had the fire in my belly, and God was there with me every day. and I knew I was doing exactly, regardless of the money, I was doing and serving exactly how I was supposed to. A couple things happened. I think my work there was done. I think that it felt like it let go of me, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
It gave me, it just spiritually, emotionally, mentally, whatever.
It was leading to the
gave
next chapter.
Gave me the permission to leave.
I love that.
And I felt that, and that was a new feeling for me that
it's time.
That it was like, wow, maybe it's time to go, and maybe that God has different things in store for me, and this is the end of this chapter.
Yeah. Wow.
The other thing that happened was I was tired, dude. Like, I was on the front lines professionally with that business for 13 years of America's addiction crisis, America's opiate addiction crisis, America's overdose epidemic. I would have weeks where I would be going to 3-4 funerals in a week, consoling grieving moms, looking at their children that they're leaving behind.
That's tough,
and it fucked me up.
Yeah.
It really did. And so I just got to a place where it was like, it's time.
Yeah.
And I took a little bit of time for myself, and now in this new season of life, I'm back building another business. You know, it's like Noah building the ark or something. I don't know. Like, I just couldn't stay away, and it's what I know, and I really enjoy it, and it's meaningful. But then even like in that time period, I start to put out content on social media. I was very regionally impactful, and I start to like put out content on Instagram and other channels, and that started to gain some traction and start to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
And in the last week, just moving around in the world, I've probably been stopped 7 or 8 times by strangers telling me that, hey, you helped me make the decision to get sober. You impacted my life.
Yeah.
And if that's just the people I see, it's like, you know, I don't know what's next for me. I know that today I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And carrying the message that I'm supposed to carry. And excited to see where it takes me next.
That's beautiful. You know, that's really beautiful, honestly. Thank you for sharing all that. I know that's it could be a very sensitive subject, but it's, you know, what you went through and made you for who you are today, you know? So
by being able to share it with others, it makes it make sense for me.
Absolutely. Just to fast forward, what kind of businesses are you into now? I know you mentioned real estate. I know you have the coaching program. Events.
So I coach entrepreneurs and business owners. I am running some events.
Okay.
We have a mastermind, Wes Watson and I, coming up in July.
Okay.
And we have 2. We have a small, very exclusive mastermind, 2 days, just me and him. We have a bigger event in Boston, July 20th and 21st. Amazing lineup of speakers. We got Andy Frisella.
Nice.
Killing it, right? Headlining. We got Mike Rashid, Michael Franzese, Nick. We got whole bunch of people speaking there. And then I'm in multiple different verticals of real estate. I'm in commercial real estate development. I'm building apartments and mixed use developments. I am developing healthcare properties for addiction, behavioral healthcare, and addiction, mental health treatment
so
businesses.
You're still
I have a whole nother addiction treatment business also.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm on the real estate side of that business, which I've been in for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm in multifamily apartment buildings, and one of my favorites is I am in single family home Section 8.
Section 8, yeah.
And so, you know, I'm buying a lot of single family homes in the Midwest and in the South, where they're very affordable, and, you know, we're helping folks that have financial restrictions and participate in the Section 8 voucher program with their local housing authorities. And so, you know, we get to help a lot of single moms, a lot of grandparents. It's a labor of love, and it's also a great investment strategy. Then I'm also in building another addiction treatment business.
Nice.
Launched that a year ago. It's going well. We have our first facility that's been open for 6 months. We have other facilities. That has a leadership team, honestly, that I participate from a distant high level, but we have an amazing team that does that.
How much are you bringing in every year with everything combined right now?
It's really hard to calibrate.
Or maybe just like a range.
Millions.
Millions, okay.
Millions. Yeah, it's such a transitional period of
Every
selling the business. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
And yeah, we're building a lot with the real estate and deals that we have going on, and
Yeah. Just to, I don't know, anybody just watching right now, I know a lot of people are already probably inspired, but what is maybe some practical tips for someone to be ultra successful?
Understand that this does not come easy, and understand that this does not come overnight. And most people that will take a run at getting to where I've gotten to will give up before it happens. The amount of times that have had my back against the wall, working 16-hour days, thinking, why am I doing this? I should just get a job. I should just, do something differently. The one thing I did right in that process was I just got up and did it again the next day. Yeah. This is going to take, for most of us, there's an exception to every rule, but for most everyone watching this that will ever achieve a level of real success, of real wealth, it is going to take 10 years. It's not going to take 2. It's not going to take an online course. It's not going to take, you're not going to do it overnight. Yeah. If you're going to build something real, you are going to have to separate from the pack. You're going to have to put your head down. You're going to have to be willing to work 16 hours a day at times, if not most of the time. You are going to be misunderstood. You will be betrayed by people. They will backstab you. They will break your hearts. There will be adversity. There will be problems. There will be pain. And it is going to take a long period of time. And if you can withstand all of that, then you will be able to enjoy the rest of this. It's not lonely at the top. There's a lot of the best people that I have ever met in my entire life of where I've gotten to. But the journey getting here is hard and lonely.
Eric,
Brother, appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
100%.
that. Where can people find you? Social media.
Would appreciate some love on YouTube. At Eric Spofford _. Really just started kicking content up on that. And then Instagram has been my native platform for a long time. You can track along with my content, watch my stories, see what I'm doing on the day-to-day, try to inspire you guys and make a little bit of a difference. But I appreciate the love. Thanks for following along.
Yes, sir. Links in the description below, guys.
Yeah, I'm on a big vibe. Beachside, cool breeze, stroll eyes. Yeah, on this late night, see a little baddie, is she I'ma just say when we try, baby, leave it all behind on a free mind lately. Good things come around, you can say, come and make me